Oh, somebody said no? Is that better? I don't have Allison's voice. I have to tell you, I'm very happy to be here this morning on this beautiful day in this incredible natural spot and share with you my love of Saugatuck Church. And because of this love, I find it so easy to financially support this church. Although I grew up in a UCC church, the Orange Congregational Church in Orange, Connecticut, and Dan and I were married in that church, I never attended any church after that marriage during my early adult years, not even on Christmas and Easter. We were busy with careers and making a home and starting a family. It wasn't until we moved to Westport in the 80s that, and our daughter Carrie was in elementary school, that I began to think I better do something about church. Enter Bill Meyer. Right? You remember him. He was a great salesman, and on the softball field, come to Saugatuck Church, come to Saugatuck Church. He pulled me into church. But Ted Hoskins was the reason that I stayed. At the time I started going to church, I also was working for a community agency in Stratford and had begun to develop my own strong social conscience. Little did I know that Saugatuck Church would support my emerging social conscience by encouraging service to others and believing in the uniqueness and value of every person I encountered. Each week, Ted's sermons would validate the work that I was doing supporting children and families. I felt as if I belonged at Saugatuck, and that Saugatuck, by preaching love of neighbor, was reinforcing the path that I had chosen in life. But loving your neighbor and accepting uniqueness of each person and their faith journey didn't just come via the pulpit. One of the earliest experiences I had at Saugatuck was at a new member orientation. I was on the membership committee by this time. And Ted was there, and he requested that each person tell about their faith journey. Oh boy, I was going to be in trouble now. I was very nervous as everyone was talking about their faith in Christ, and I kept thinking, Christ? I'm not sure about him. And I'm not sure what I think about him. Oh boy. So when my turn came, I took a deep and I guess spirit-filled breath and confessed that I didn't even know if I believed in Christ. I was shaking in my boots. I was sure that I would be banished from the church. However, Ted was nonplussed by my confession and assured me that we are all on a journey that is different. That, my friends, is love and acceptance. I knew I was in the right place, a loving and accepting place. When Saugatuck decided to go through the open and affirming process, I was the first one in line to sign up for that committee with John Danner. Yes, this was an extremely important issue to me and so indicative of how Saugatuck is to be a uniting church. Yes. Saugatuck was stepping up before other churches in town and welcoming all people to our church. I loved being part of that process, and I loved the love that was present during it. It's a loving and accepting place. When I became a member of the Arts and Ministry team, I knew that this was another opportunity for Saugatuck to step up regarding another important social issue, immigration. The team organized and put up an amazing show of art created by immigrants, highlighting them at a time when they were constantly attacked. On opening night, Hoskins Hall was abuzz and filled with people from many countries, even though several had some fear about being there because of immigration laws. The following year, the arts team decided to take on another important issue, art by people of color. This show was also a wonderful event for the church and the Black community. Again, the hall was filled with diverse faces. It was filled with love. The latest endeavor of the Arts Committee is the Black Lives Matter banner across the front of our church. Saugatuck has stepped up once more to tell the community where we stand as a congregation about the issues of systemic racism. Saugatuck is moving forward to learn more and work through these issues. We are not afraid to face the tough issues here. All three of these events and many more than there's really time to mention made me realize I am really in the right place, a loving and supportive place. All these events have fed my soul. They support my need for social justice, for service and acceptance. I so appreciate that Saugatuck steps up by supporting those in all of the parts of our community. But probably the most important way that the church feeds me is through all of you. Your love, your love and acceptance over the years, especially during the last year and a half of my life, is huge to me. So when it comes to the bottom line, and we are talking about the bottom line here, I am happy to make a financial commitment to this church that feeds me. This church teaches us all to be of service to others and to each other, and I'm happy to give a little more each year, and I hope that you will as well. We are lucky to be part of such a loving community. Thank you.